Alright troops, how's it going? Back with a weekly watch update video. Thankfully, I'm in a good mood today with it. So this one, I've done the review of it. So it's the Naviforce. I just want to give an update. I released the video saying that I liked it, and I still do. But I'm not putting it in the general day-to-day watch wearing until I get this sorted. This is, physically, I think it's awful. I think it's the colour, because comfort-wise, it is really nice. This is just a really dull, horrible blue. So I'm not wearing this on the general watch wearing. So in the previous video I showed you the Secondas, all three of them. There is the Naviforce, previously reviewed, that is absolutely infuriatingly a knockoff of an AV8, but really nice. And the Magir, that is definitely not a Tag Monaco, but it is a Tag Monaco, but it's not a Tag Monaco. Now this was supposed to be the sixth one in that box of 6 to complete the set, until I get this one chopped up and swap it in with the other one that will be coming shortly. I just don't like it enough to do it. So what is now in that rotation is a bit of an unusual one. It's my watch build. Now, immediately, it's a Seiko, but it's not a Seiko. It looks like a Rolex Daytona. It's not a Rolex Daytona. What it is quite possibly the most frustrating thing I've ever set out to actually build. So to give you the background of what's happened, I bought the case, I bought a strap, I bought some hands, I bought a dial, and I bought a VK63 movement. So I then got the case and everything delivered. I laid it all out to get it set up, and I started to put the dial onto the VK63 movement. It didn't quite line up, so I had to move the little hands on the back of the dial, and eventually got it in, and then managed to get the hands put on, and then tried to put the whole thing in the case. Now the dial was too big for the case. This takes a 29.5mm. The dial, which is, where is it? It's over here. This is 31mm, so it doesn't fit. So I ordered another dial, and so this one came. Now I liked this one because it was blue and it was silver, and it doesn't say things that it's not. This is not, would help if I put the light on actually. There we go. It is not a Seiko dial, it's an aftermarket. It is not Oyster Perpetual Superlative Chronometer officially certified, not in any standard. It is not a Daytona. Japan movement, I don't know if the VK63 is originally Japanese, but I don't like it. So the dial's getting changed. But I then got the dial put on with the hands and put it back in, and then the original hands were too big and they were bending up on the top. So I then had to get some new hands delivered. Now you'll notice that I've got the orange hands at the bottom and blue hand in the middle. That is, style-wise, what I want. But you'll notice that the second hand is off-centre. And that's because for life nor hell could I actually get that thing to line up. I very much like making watches. I very much dislike putting the second hand on. So why are we keeping it that way? Because I'm going to change the dial again, but I'm going to get one that is blank. Had this not have got Seiko, all of that on it, possibly you could even get rid of the Seiko and keep the rest. I don't mind that, but it's irritated me so much that I got sick of it. I just wanted it in and I wanted to try it. Now, the strap it was supposed to be on, you'll mention in previous videos, was a metal bracelet. And then initially, I had it on this, but I didn't like the red and the dark blue together, so I swapped it for the blue. but I can now say we're almost done. The only thing that will change is the dial, and I'll get the hands put on properly when I've got a bit more patient. So what are you thinking, where's this strap come from? Well, this strap was from a different watch, and it came from this one. Now this, you'll also notice, hasn't got a second hand. This was my wedding watch. This was the watch I was going to wear on my wedding day, and I actually got married in a kilt in the full Highlander regalia. They didn't have automatic watches in that time, so it didn't fit. So it eventually just became my first ever watch I made. This is, by no stretch of the imagination, my top 3 most precious watches. Now, cost-wise, it wasn't very expensive. You know, you're talking about £25 for the case, £25 for a movement, £5 to £10 for a dial, £5 for some hands, £20 for a bracelet. Individually, it's not that bad. Obviously, it stacks up, and between the two of them, they've cost me quite a lot of money, because this one's cost me more based on the fact things just didn't add up. But this blue strap was on this, and I didn't like it enough. So the fact I've been able to swap the two over, and now this has got a bracelet that matches in, and I think looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm very, very, very pleased. It just feels such a quality item. It is going to get a second hand added, and that's on its way. When I initially made it, I didn't want one adding. I liked just minutes and hours, but I now feel it does need it, so I'm going to get that ordered. Clear back, NH35 movement, nothing special, but I do like a clear back movement. And I've had thankfully, it's got the little screws on it, so you can alter. I've got some of the spare links here. It now fits my hand, which is great. So I've got that one to be cracking on with wearing, and I've got this one, which the more I look at it, the more I like it. I like every element. It just irks me I couldn't get the second hand, but I was getting very, 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 very impatient with it, and I was just done. You know, I knew the dial was coming out. There was no point spending more time on it if I knew I was going to be changing it anyway. So yeah, these are the 2 new additions. This one already had a place in the Prestige box, which I'll do a video on later, and this one now is the 6th edition to the daily wearers. So again, along with the Secondas, the Naviforce and the Megir, just I can thrash them about day to day, and I don't care if they get broken, because they're either too cheap, you know, to repair and you can just get another, or like this, they are very, very, very cheap to get fixed. But from a watch perspective, it's very, very nice to know that this week's ended nicely. I've got 2 finally finished watches. We're going to be going out to York on Monday, so I've got one more day of work, and then I'm out on the following Monday after the weekend, following payday, to get a watch. But it's a mystery touring of antiques and second-hand shops. We're going to find a brilliant affordable watch that we're going to hunt, and we have a budget. So we have a budget of £30 in cash and £30 in credit. Now, I mentioned in a previous video that one of my watches that I bought online on Vinted didn't arrive, and thankfully it is now done. The seller has failed to send it, and the money's come back. The entire story behind that is I saw a Rotary watch, I believe a Chronospeed, up for £30. I offered 18. The chap said yes. Said great. He said the battery needed changing. I said, you know, I can do that myself, so not a problem. And he said he'd get it sent out, and didn't. So it got to the final day before it was due to be issued, and then he asked for an extension. I gave the extension because, you know, a Chronospeed for £18, really good deal. Love Rotaries. I've got a fair few of them. Again, I'll go through. They're in the Prestige box. But then he didn't send it, and it got cancelled, owing to no seller send out. So I thought, you know, great, fair enough. He then put the watch back up on Vinted, and I monitored it. I gave it a little like, and he said, oh, if you send an offer, I'll accept it. And I thought, you know what? Fair enough. I want this watch. I like this watch. So I offered again £18. Now, I didn't hear anything then for about 3 weeks. Silence. That offer pending, nothing. And I thought, fair enough, he's just not keen on Vinted. But then 3 weeks later, he came back and accepted the offer. So I thought, Vinted are very good, where if you don't get your item, you will get refunded. So I paid the £18 when the offer had been accepted, waited, and nothing. Got to the final day, he asked for the extension, and I thought, oh, great, no, it's not coming. But I gave the extension just to see what happens. I'm now at this point quite engrossed in whether or not I'm going to get this watch eventually. Again, it timed out to nothing and it quit off. So then, lo and behold, guess what happens? He re-uploads it again. He contacts me again and says, if you send an offer again, we'll do it. And I initially put in £18 and eventually we agreed at 25. So now he's got more money out of the original deal. It's gone from 30 to 18 back up to 25. And I'm realising, if I don't play ball, I might get a broken watch. But I want this watch. I'd still pay 25 quid for this watch. I'm now at this point just throwing money at seeing if this watch comes. And the 25 quid offer pending gets to the 7 days before it's due, and then nope, asks for an extension's done, and then yesterday cancelled by Vinted. They've said nope, it's not come. So I've basically gone, yeah, that's fine. I've got the refunds back now. So we've now got, because it was £25 plus shipping and tax, protection fee, you got £30. So we've now got £60 thanks to this chap's incompetence. It is back on Vinted, of course, and I will not be going anywhere near it because I would rather just go out and get my own watch. So York now has a fair bit of a budget to it, and I'm also going to throw in some of my own money so that we can go out and get some affordable watches. I'm going to try and film as much as I can to make a really nice little video of the day. I've got a map because I just wanted to make sure that I've done it right. I've mapped out where all the antique shops are. I know York fairly well, but I feel like I'm marking up where's important to go to, and I've looked at a couple of the streets on Google Maps to make sure there's no shop on there that does anything I'd want to go on, so I can avoid it. It's about going as far as possible through the day to get as many shops done to see if we can find something to go alongside this. I have other things I'm looking for as well. I need another watch box because we've now run out of space. So hopefully I can pick up a watch and a box to go in it, possibly. I'm thinking maybe something a bit antique. I'm feeling the prestige box could possibly be more prestigious. I don't know. But no, it's a really, really exciting day. I'm going to try and film as much as I can for you. And it'd be interesting to see which watch I pick on the day. Because to be honest, it's probably going to be one of these because it's a special occasion. I want to wear a special watch, and I don't think this one is quite at that point. I'm going to call it special enough. Until it's fully done, I think we'll settle on this, which I've got to admit, as an iron brew lover, and I've said it in every other video, I love an orange and blue watch. This was the watch that I really wanted. So I've always wanted an orange bezel with a blue dial, with numbers on the bezel, but Roman numerals on the dial. I wanted a date window, and I wanted orange hands. And that was it. That was my perfect watch. Now, it says automatic, water resistant. It has got a screw down crown, so I wouldn't doubt that it is water resistant, but I'm not going to test it. Now that it's got this bracelet on, I think it's fantastic. It's really comfortable. And I was really, really comfortable. I managed to get I got 3 links taken out, which made it fit. As I say, I've got quite large wrists, and this is a very large bracelet when it was sent. But this is my iconic perfect watch. This is the watch that I would honestly say is my favourite looking. It's not the one that means the most to me. I will go through those in the future. Those are my grandfather's watches, but this is a watch that I would say is brilliant. The only thing wrong with it is it's missing the seconds hand, and that is getting added on when it arrives. I've had to order another one because I lost the first one. But yeah, it's honest. This is, if you ask me to design the perfect watch on 10 pieces of paper, all 10 would come back looking like this. This is, to me, the apex watch that I could get. And, you know, it looks like a Rolex, but they don't make it like this. They don't do an orange bezel. They wouldn't do this style of dial, and they wouldn't do the orange hands, which I like, just the general simple. You know, it's unfortunately to get what you want in this world, sometimes you do just have to dig deep and build it yourself, because no one else is going to make it for you. And I'm not rich enough that I could go to Rolex and say, I want this and I'll pay you any amount of money to make it. So yeah, really good feelings at the moment. As I say, I will be going to York, trying to film as much of it, so that should be the next video. I've not got any watches on order at this minute in time, but payday is tomorrow, and you know how it is. Might order one or two, so they'll arrive in about a week, so we've got some more stuff to do. There's the Prestige box I've mentioned I'll do a video on. I've also got the other watch box for lesser miscellaneous watches, which is usually quite a good shout if you don't know what to wear that day. Often it's good to have a look there. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're up to. If you like the video, obviously drop me a like, leave a comment, let me know, of the two, which one you prefer. Let's go with the assumption that the second hand matches up and it doesn't say Seiko on it. But let me know, do you like this one or this one? Because, building your own watch, at the end of the day, it is a personal preference. Some people like a chronograph, some people like something a little bit more simple, but let me know your thoughts on it. And if you want to see more videos around affordable watching, drop me a subscribe. I'm trying to get quite on top of doing these videos on a regular basis. Obviously, you've got to beat that YouTube algorithm, haven't you? But at the same time, I really enjoy making the videos. I love my wife to pieces, but she just doesn't want to talk watches at all. So sometimes you've just got to go find an audience. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one, and hopefully that'll be post York. Thanks for watching. Have a good afternoon.